Once upon a lifetime ago, I bought a little, battered, blue suitcase. It was sitting in a charity shop, and in my head, it carried with it the air of a storied traveller. I bought this in a fit of pretension, in what I hoped at the time was charming, that hinted at a bohemian personality. I planned to use this suitcase as a home for my notes, my writing, songs, sketches, whatever physical records of creativity I imagined the nonconformist beatnik types I aspired to be like would have kept in such a suitcase. I planned to carry this around, in a move I hoped at the time was charming that hinted at a bohemian personality that I had no hope of sustaining. There was nothing in this case, and even then, even with the arrogance of youth, I was too self-conscious to actually walk around holding this thing. It does eventually become a home for creative stuff. Letters between friends, little collages, printed photos, ticket stubs, memories. I've still got it. It lives under the bed, still a home to those memories. A monument to a more interesting person who never came to be. The game we're talking about today is one about the things we hold with us, about the things that shape us, the memories, and the transformative power of art to communicate story and feeling. It tells the story of a life, from childhood to everything that comes after, of a woman whose name we never learn. It tells a sad story you haven't heard, in a beautiful way you've never seen. Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Dialogue Tree. This is episode 16. Dear Me, I Was. Chapter 1. Rice balls, kumquats, chopped banana, milk. Dear Me, I Was is a visual novel by Arc System Works, a developer best known for 2D fighting games such as Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. It's notable for being wildly different to those games, but more importantly, for its distinctive, rotoscoping watercolour art style, that of art director Taisuke Kanazaki. Kanazaki made his name working on Hotel Dusk and Another Code, minor hits that grew over time into cult classics. In this game, there is, by design, very little game. What you are shown, and the way you are shown it, is the game. Dear Me, I Was tells the story of a life, of a woman. We meet her as a young girl. We meet her and see her interacting with her parents, cooking, playing, drawing. We experience a tragic, life-changing event with her and see how she processes this through art. A sketch that we make together is simple and innocuous on paper, but significant. It sparks a passion that opens the doors to a life of personal and professional experiences. We see her grow and go to school. The way her life opens up here is recognisable and exciting. Daydreaming and a first love, formed over a shared love of art. In these opening moments, the art style is pretty. The colours are soft but vibrant. A happy time. That time, the little time that we spend with this young family, feels authentic. They play. The very specific flow that rotoscoping affords underlines this. The way the characters move is as pleasant as the way they look. The way the characters move is the picture I have in my head of those times with my children. And there's something else here that will be familiar to anyone with experience with kids. the picture the young girl draws of one beloved family member. That picture is amusingly simple. The person they are capturing ends up looking almost clown-like. But it is recognisably meaningful. The picture may be simple and funny. Come on, my eyes aren't that far apart. But the love is real. I have a few pictures like this. I keep them. They come less frequently as children grow. I've kept them. Chapter 4. Deli meat, burnt toast, broccoli, black coffee. What do you do in Dear Me, I Was? Not a lot. You are presented with the story, and you are a mostly passive spectator. The few moments of interactivity have you simply moving the cursor to fill out pages of a sketchbook or click an item to trigger a reaction that moves the story forward. Is it satisfying? Not really. Does that matter? Not at all. Complaining about the lack of interactivity in Dear Me, I Was would be like bemoaning the lack of a meow button in Elden Ring. That's not what this game is. That's not what this game is for. In Dear Me, I Was, art is communication. Art says what words cannot. In some cases, it says more. This is emphasised in the core sequence of the game, after our protagonist goes to school. I can't say much more, but do you have a memory of a first love? Not necessarily a romantic love, just the moment when you discovered connection, when you first felt the rush of possibility, when another person brought you out of yourself. That brief window of spiritual freedom, only possible at the end of childhood but before true adulthood, is captured here. It's lovely. It's recognisable. It stings. We can't really talk more about the story, but what I can say is that it resonates. This may be a story about a person and a world a million miles away from my own, but it still resonates. It's a piece where the overall feel is where the impact lies, rather than the specifics. The colour is the key. Colour is happiness. When the colour is washed away, the effect is striking. And this is a simple shorthand trick for emotional impact. Lots of media, especially video games, uses colour in this way. But the impact in the game is heightened by the use of watercolour. The familiar pitfalls of love, relationships and growing up are brought to life when the life is removed. When the game incorporates scratchy black and white images, when the bottom falls out of our protagonist's world, we feel it. She grows, and childish things are put to one side. There's a few ways the game shows us this, but the one I like the most is through breakfast. Each chapter starts with one that you click through to start your day. Each is different, and each tells its own story. You can read these like you would prose. Colourful fruit bowls, then burnt toast. Milk, then black coffee. Rich food, spare food. It's recognisable. It stings. Chapter 8. Shio pan, boiled eggs, black coffee. Dear Me, I Was is not a game for everyone. It's short and mostly non-interactive. It is of a very particular brand of melodrama that requires a very particular kind of mindset, of patience. It's very clean, very quiet. It's introverted and introspective. There's a lot of long gazes into the middle distance. a lot of heightened emotions hidden behind inscrutable glances. And we never even learn the names of the characters we are spending our time with. It all amounts to a type of presentation that we don't really do in the West. Dear Me, I Was is not a game for everyone, and yet it can be a game for anyone. It's a simple picture book, and it's interactive art. It's a mature, emotive story, ostensibly for grown-ups, but is narratively recognisable and thematically accessible to all. It might not feel like it's made for you, but it has something for you. For me, the part of the story that resonates most is inevitably that which deals with the relationship between children and parents. The speed at which these relationships change, at which those carefree early years are left behind, has been on my mind recently. A lot. Dear Me, I Was shines a harsh but beautiful light on those thoughts. The protagonist in this game is inspired in her youth by a parent. She carries that with her. It shapes her, in a positive way, for life. It feels like that's the way it should be. Asking the question of whether I can say the same is hard. Knowing that I won't be able to answer it for years is harder still. What moments, if any, have we shared that will inspire them the way the protagonist is inspired here? What memories, if any, have I fostered in them that they will reflect on fondly? Where are they heading? Will they take me with them? Dear Me, I Was is a story that will make you wistful, appreciative, fearful. How exactly depends on where you're coming from. Wistful for what has been, appreciative of what there is, fearful of what comes next. Those funny little sketches don't come as often anymore. But they happened, and I've kept them. The music in Dear Me, I Was is composed by Satoshi Yakobu. Let's listen. Short, slight, but worthwhile. That's been Dear Me, I Was. Epilogue. Water. Just water. Thanks for listening. You can find the show notes linked in the episode description. The artwork for Dialogue Tree was produced by Pixel Benny, and you can find the show online at dialoguetree.cc. Talk to you next time.